That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Can't do it.
Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it
Doug.
for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Coming from a galaxy near you, this is Brothers in Booze. And here are your hosts, Greg Washington and Doug Ziegler.
Don't front. That's how Doug acts before. If I fuck up before this is how Doug acts. Don't let him mistake y'all. Welcome to Brothers in Booze. What's up, Doug?
Nothing, man. What are you drinking? Since clearly I yell at you all the time.
Yeah, and I have to drink. It's like part of my therapy. Some, for lack of a better word, meh IPA from Pitchfork Brewing Company. Never heard of them.
What's the date on it?
It's a I'm sorry. It's a German Pilsner with Willamette and cone hops. Did I say IPA? Okay. Well, it's a Pilsner. I thought it was an IPA. Okay. So now it's a different profile in my head, of course. It's still kind of mad though as an overall beer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks the part. It wants to be light and refreshing with a little bit of hop character. And I guess that's what it's got. I don't know. It's 4%. Maybe it's warming up on me. It is the summer.
Yeah.
What's going on over with you? Because this is crazy here.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing cider tonight. I just decided I haven't done cider on here before. Let me grab some ciders.
Cider boys.
Yeah. So I'm starting with a local one from a company called New Leaf. This is a bourbon barrel with a hint of maple cider. New Leaf Cider Company.
No one does ciders here. Is this our first cider ever?
No, I think we've had them on the show before. We've had guests have them. I just have never had them on the show. So I thought, why not? So cheers.
Maybe I'm thinking of mead.
Definitely have not had meat on the show, but that I can do too. So this got super bourbony on the nose, a little bit of the maple sweetness you can get there too.
Oh, wait, it's a bourbon barrel cider? Is that what I heard?
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. It's aged in Buffalo Trace barrels.
Oh, okay.
So not bad, right? This has a nice light bourbony taste to it. And the maple comes on the back end where it finishes a little drier, which is nice. I actually prefer the drier ciders when I have them. So yes, it is the apple of my eye, Dan.
Me too.
Love you too, boy. So yes, this is really good, really super drinkable. Obviously, because it's so hot here, I'm like wanting something crisp and refreshing. So this is fitting the bill. So cheers to you, sir.
You and Danny need to get a room. We're trying to work on that by coming to New York. I got some interesting ones tonight, Doug. I don't know how many I'm going to get through them.
Yeah, me either. I have a good many that I can get through, but we'll see.
Well, you're not going to be jealous, but I just wanted you to see this one because I know you love it. And I don't know. I just rarely, for some reason, have been around our favorite.
Oh, I saw that and I can't get it. And I'm jealous.
Why?
It's not out here yet. I've been looking everywhere in my area for it. There are some variants that don't go out everywhere. I found that out with a couple of them. They had a Scotch barrel one that I couldn't get.
Stroopwafels.
I know. I saw that. Stroopwafel. It's fun to say, right? Stroopwafel.
It is very fun to say. With stroopwafel cookies, coffee, caramel, and cinnamon. All right, man. That you couldn't get that one. I'm kind of happy, but I guess
I'm kind of happy, Doug.
Yeah, haha. No, I guess, but when you think about it, Michigan's probably right in the middle of us, like almost even directly. Really, actually, the more I think about it, I was always I always struggled with geography, even though I liked it, and geometry was worse than geography.
Yeah.
But especially when you got up higher, when y'all wanted to do all this crazy shit with triangles and circles and medians and fucking, you know what I mean? That shit. It was fun when it was like, this is a circle, this is a square, this is a rhombus. That shit was fun, man.
Like a rhombus.
Right. Trapezoid, damn it. Anyway, what else do I have here? Oh, Doug, I have an old classic I'm going to pull out here really soon. Once we get to our guest, who apparently has a bunch himself tonight.
Yeah. The photo, there's a few on deck here for him. So,
warning, we ain't going no 3 hours like last week.
No, we are not doing the marathon. It was 3.5 by the time the actual live stream ended, and then we had a post show, which was insane as well. So.
The whole thing was as insane as we probably thought it was going to be. All right, Doug. I guess we Daniel, and it was in the mix of 6 section too, Doug, which was even like that's golden. You know what I'm saying? To find Dragon's Milk in your mix of 6, normally you got to put out, you got to get 4 of them.
Yeah, and then the thing is, if it's now granted, if it's Dragon's Milk, it's very unlikely that I will have a variant that I do not like. But
right.
you know how when you get variants, sometimes you're like, man, I bought a 4-pack of that. So nice that you got a mix out of that. That's cool.
No, no, man. I'm with, like, I think you might have said it once. I'm gonna say it. There just must, like, you know how they say must TV, must see TV. That's must buy. If you see almost any kind, if you're a stout person and you like stouts and you pass on Dragon's Milk, the newest variant that no one's got before, you're crazy. There's nothing else to say about it. You're absolutely crazy. You don't pass on Dragon's Milk variant. You just don't. Like, and it may sound horrible. I've been through this before. We kind of talked about this before. I've even told the brewers at New Holland my opinion about how they come up with these crazy variants and they sound like shit. And then 2 minutes later, you're trying to buy an 8-pack of it. It's so good. And you know what I'm saying? So, like, I've been told, I've learned myself personally that you do not pass on any Dragon's Milk variants if you're stout. That's the easiest thing we can say, Doug. It's the best. It's probably the best advice we can give on here ever.
Yeah. I do not disagree with that assessment, because if I can get any variant of theirs, I buy it.
Absolutely. And we're going to bring in our guest, who is a beer lover himself. But I'm not sure if he's a Dragon's Milk kind of guy. He's a big IPA, juicy, all kinds of double IPAs, triple IPAs, quadruple.
He just dislikes
IPAs. Right.
He just dislikes his palate so that he could have one of them and not be able to taste anything afterwards.
Right. Well, let's get him on here to defend himself. My friend, not long term. We are new friends. We just met each other the past couple of years, but we became hot friends after we met each other. And my friend Kyle here. Welcome to the Brothers and Booze, and everybody is my friend Kyle.
We became hot friends.
Yes,
what else is there to say?
Right. That could be that should be a shirt. We should do that. We became hot friends.
There you go.
Kyle, where are you at real quick as far as the stouts? You're not a stout guy, are you? You want to talk about You want to talk about how you got into craft beer too? Talk about how you got into craft beer and where you're at as far as that goes.
Okay. It was a morning in Minneapolis, and you were taking me for coffee, and you asked me if I was into beers. I was not, and I was, whatever, just talking about what I think that I would like. And like I ordered a coffee, and it was Caribou, which is a Minnesota company, and it matters which order you say things. It helps out. So when I ordered, you were like, how are you not into beer? Because I wanted a turtle mocha with no topping, no whip, dark chocolate, so just like, how was this not happening? So from there I went home and looked at it's Greg's fault. I hit the make your six, and I think like cream ales. That's an easy gateway drug, because it's like beer, but it's not offensively like beer. Got into a couple beer groups on Facebook just to see, who likes what around, and kept hearing a certain name. So then I went and bought an IPA from Black Stack, and like it was like, okay, this is what hazy, juicy, fruity IPAs are when they're done well. This is it was really great. I loved it, and ever since then it was like, how good is it? How does it compare? How does Black Stack locally compare to some of the other really good IPAs around the country? So that's just been kind of a question in my mind, because of like how good is good. I know I like it a lot, but is it really legitimate, or is it just good for where I'm at? One thing that I remember Greg telling me early on was like the traditional path is, light beers. And then once you fry out your palate, then you get into porters and stouts and the dark beers. And the cool thing is, I think I'm kind of at the top of that roller coaster hill right now, because I just couldn't palate IPAs about a month and a half ago. I've been kind of just laying low, drinking more water, not so much drinking beers, but also getting into the sours. So
that's great.
I'm unique, I guess.
Kyle, what about Belgians? I'm thinking maybe Belgians right through that bridge area there.
I've had one of those triples.
I was about to say, try a triple or three.
If you can stay awake after that, that'd be great.
Not in one setting, dog. But no, triples have that they have that IPA quality, but they're definitely more malty, and they're definitely more they offer different mouthfeel, but they also offer different taste. That Belgian yeast gives you that. I think you're looking for something different that's not like a high IPA bomb, because you love the IPAs, and I love them too.
I do.
Oh, Kyle, I'm sorry. What is
girl?
It was a 40 cut. It was a slip. Kyle, what's in the glass?
Yeah, we should ask. I forget.
Technically, do I show the one that I've already finished, and then the second one that I'm on?
You want to do it, man? Please. Let's start with the beginning.
Sure. Last week that guy was kind of a bitch, so I wanted to a fun bitch though. I was really thirsty. Which way do I go with this way?
Struggle Bus. Ooh.
Struggle Bus from Drecker. It's a breakfast sour. It's really, really good. Orange, vanilla, maple syrup, brown sugar, cinnamon, and lactose. It's not really a beer. It's not really a sour. It's just like a sour with orange juice, I think. It's really good.
All right.
What's in my glass right now is it's the sour that turned me on to sours.
It's a sour night.
Yeah, it's the sour that turned me on to sours, And here's the thing, like Zach was saying, oh, my 13-year-old kid would love that. Thing is, yeah, because it's delicious. So I know what the can says, what's in this, but it doesn't like input and then output. It's not.
Does it match what it says?
No, it's a mixed culture foder.
Mm.
It's a gose with orange, lime, tomato, sea salt, coriander, chilies, and tahini.
Doug would love that shit.
That has me written all over it with the 50,000 ingredients in it.
It tastes like Hawaiian Punch fruit juicy red. It
looks like a Bloody Mary.
It smells like a Bloody Mary. It tastes like fruit juicy red.
Great class.
Wow.
It's insane.
Is it as thick as it looks?
Yeah, because that looks.
Yes, it is.
Wow. That sounds wild. Who is that again?
This is Black Stack.
Oh.
This is Black Stack coming at you with the sour.
Straight
disclaimer. That's Kyle's shit.
That's my shit. If I'm gonna here's
Black Stack Black Stack.
Okay. Something you've taught me and something that we're gonna find I'm very passionate about is the idea, the concept of voting with your dollars. I will happily drive by 25 problematic breweries to get to the one non-problematic brewery doing all the right shit, making a really good beer. I don't care. I will jump through all of those hoops and spend the extra inflated dollars right there because like that's where we're at.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, I couldn't agree more. Here.
Yes. There's 7,000 breweries. You can only get to 7 of them really in your life. That's almost how I feel now. And you know what I mean? So you got to spend where you spend and love what you love and support what you can support. You know, wouldn't it suck if you and I'm not trying to be an ass, but wouldn't it suck if you woke up tomorrow and Black Sack was like, oh, we're going out of business. And you didn't do everything you could to like support them. And then you would feel like a dick. And this has happened to me before, maybe not in beer, but just in general. And it's just like, man, I wish I could have did more. Well, you could have did more. You could have bought their shit. So you can't. Right. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You got the triple, like we were just saying about how you're an IPA guy and then you're wearing a freaking triple A IPA shirt.
Right. I do have a double dry hops double IPA that I made a special trip because I'm like, I can't. Okay, I've talked some shit about IPAs in the group, so I can't come on here and not have just the straight shit that I've been talking my shit about.
Right. And
I have to practice what I preach, otherwise, you know, the hypocrisy comes out and it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Y'all talked about you said the word gateway beer. And I got the premium gateway beer, Doug.
That tire, baby. Classic.
Yes. Drinking like it was designed 20 years ago, though. Anyway.
That still remains a pretty solid amber, though. I mean, it's not great, but it's always a solid amber.
It's okay.
It's not remarkable. It's just
it's not gonna. No, but like sometimes when you go back to the nostalgia beers, you kind of want to be like blown away like you were when you first found it, but it just doesn't work that way. In fact, it's usually the other way, Doug. Usually it's like, okay, I see the nostalgia of it. 100,000 years ago. Yeah, it was cool. Like, Doug, yours is... Don't you have a love-hate relationship with Yuengling like this?
I have a hate relationship with Yuengling. I've always hated Yuengling. I've hated their beers. I always thought they were shit. I grew up fucking 50 minutes from that brewery. I fucking hated their beer. And I hated their beer when I didn't know what good beer was. Like, I liked Rolling Rock over that. That's no joke. I would drink Rolling Rock before I drink any Yuengling things. With one exception, Lord Chesterfield Ale was actually not bad. But I will not buy any of their stuff because they're supporters of the last fucking guy, so I won't buy any of their stuff.
Fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that guy. And
all right, you're right there, Charlie.
right. But and then Manny's like, why would I want to function? Y'all brought up the last guy, so I'm gonna I wasn't planning to play a video, but we're gonna play this, respond, and then Doug's got a second.
In contrast, Russian elections are rigged. Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. Iraq. 75.
It's nice to see when a war criminal admits what he did. That's nice.
You see, I mean, it was so nonchalant. It just came so natural.
And I don't ever want to hear that guy talk. So yeah.
Well, he doesn't listen compared to the previous one. This man doesn't say shit, and then when he does, he comes out and says shit like that. It's like, oh, dude, like it was just so much better when you were silent. We almost all forgot about you. Now you got to come back and like remind us of.
Yeah, he was on that reunion tour where he kept giving candy to Michelle Obama to show what a nice guy he was. I'm like, yeah, we still know what you did. But anyway.
And because Michelle Obama's classy,
mm-hmm.
she has a cordial relationship with him because of class, though. It's not because of. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe she really likes the dude. But anywho, Doug, what is on your second? Kyle, if you want to jump in on that one, you can. Or
yeah, go ahead, Kyle. Let's hear your
let
comment.
That say off you want.
Right. Maybe you want to finish your beer. Here we go. He's loading up.
Right. So, Doug, what's in your glass?
All right. So, what I'm grabbing next is a Slow Down cider from Artifact. And Artifact is out of.
Why should I slow down?
Because it's a New England one. It's so it's got it looks like it has little mussels or clams or whatever the fuck they are in there. So it's like just a slow down and relax kind of thing, I guess is what they're doing. Slow Down is a fresh citrusy inspired by the rocky North Atlantic coast. That's their thing.
What's the style on this?
Just a dry cider. Nothing fancy.
Oh, we're back to. So they threw some oysters in there. Or what the hell?
No, it's just because it's reminiscent of the North Atlantic coast.
Gotcha. Or maybe it goes good with oysters.
Yeah, I don't know. Look at that. There's your favorite glass, Greg.
Whoa!
Look at that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like
champagne
or some shit.
Almost,
like
doesn't it? It looks all bubbly like champagne.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing fancy glasswork?
Yeah, the fancy glassware.
There you go.
Right. No, I'm not going to slow down. I don't know what Doug's trying to get me to do. Right.
So this is just kind of straightforward, just a little dry finish. Not super sweet, just middle of the road, kind of okay. But this is, Daniel, if they've done some other interesting ones, this is the one I found and grabbed because I like the can art. So silly me grabbed it by can art. This is okay. It's nothing to write home about. I think the first cider was a little better than this, but this is definitely drinkable. Like when it's hot, it's definitely drinkable.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah. So what's
that one?
Yeah, what's that one, bud? Yeah, you got a big old glass to be there.
I was just mentioning
wedding season.
Double dry hops, double IPA.
All right.
What is? They always have a thing that they write.
Love those.
Weldworks.
Weldworks out of Colorado.
So they got Cascade, Phantasm. Then something. Okay, they always write a little ditty on the back.
Love it.
So,
yeah.
and brewed with our buds at WeldWorks in Greeley, Colorado to celebrate the occasion. Blessed with Berkeley Tropics yeast to drive the release of soils. With something old, Cascade, something new, Phantasm, something borrowed, WeldWorks, brewed select Eldorado.
Okay.
And something blue, our Citricryo. Citricryo, Eldorado, Phantasm, and Cascade. It's just juicy, fruity. I was
right up my alley. Right up my alley.
I was blown away on when Blackstack writes out their little poem. They talk about the ingredients used in each of their IPAs. So then, as a consumer and as somebody who's like new, you can have one and be like, "Oh, that's still an IPA, but holy shit, I don't like that." And then realize which hops and which grain bill, I guess, when they talk about it. So like I learned real quick, I do not like Simcoe. It tastes like Zest soap, you know? Soap. You know, like it's got that floral whatever. Just didn't like it. So
do you also have are you pro or anti cilantro? Since you're talking soap taste.
Cilantro in just regular culinary things, or cilantro in soap?
No, I mean, like some people have the genetic thing where the cilantro actually tastes like soap.
Oh, no, I fuck with cilantro. I like it a lot.
Me too. Greg, How about you? What about you on cilantro?
Oh, you didn't see my face, Doug. I thought this was another avocado thing for you.
No, I really like cilantro. I think it's fascinating. I think it's fascinating that people have a genetic thing that makes it taste like soap. Like that's such a weird thing to happen, you know?
Absolutely. Cilantro is fantastic, though. I don't know how you do Mexican without cilantro. I just don't want to know, actually. Now, cilantro and beer would be
that'd be an odd combo, yes.
Yeah, unless you're trying to make some margarita type, lime type. Yeah. So Wild Rockers Double Simcoe was somehow delicious.
You know what? That was one I never picked up because it was Simcoe. Now I'm regretting that.
Strong. Yeah. That soap is probably better than Cappy, though.
Yes.
I would hope so.
You're talking about cilantro and whether that would be good in a beer. Like I just drank a sour that I really love, and it has tahini in it. Like, so
not what you would expect in a beer,
right? Right. It's completely unexpected, and from there, it's just kind of like it puts that idea into you that like any sour could be like that. So it's like, okay, now next time I go into the liquor store, I'm gonna really look closely through the sours to see if there's something that might be cool or different. I have one. Then my next one is it's got maple, and it's like any sour with maple in it. That's checking off boxes for me.
Absolutely. I love how you skip the lager part of the whole craft beer transition. You went right to the big ales, the big, juicy, wonderful IPAs. Now you're hitting that sour, tardy ass, juicy. Sours can go tart. They can go really puckery. They can go really nice and light, like Doug likes them. And now you're rounding that corner. Again, like I said, Belgians, the triples, hang out with them.
I got a barrel aged here later.
Yeah. I think that those flavor profiles will help you ease into, and then if you get into the doubles are a little bit not a little bit, they're a lot of it malty. So I don't know if you want to jump into the doubles yet, but I'm pretty and then those
golden ales would be good
doubles, what's Belgian whites and singles and lower than the double. The double's the double.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
think
look at it.
Yeah, I think the step below double is just the golden. I think that's
golden, and yeah, those will be nice too for you. I think you'll like those because again, that Belgian yeast will give you that. You know, you're like a weird thing. Your palate, man, your palate likes big flavors, so Belgian yeast can give you that.
Hell yeah, it does.
Yes, it does. I already know, man. But this isn't. I don't know, Doug. This is getting better as I drink it, but
maybe you just need to have several beers before it. So that's
well, and maybe I only need to have it once every 3 years, like I'm on it. So anyway, I'm not a huge amber fan. I think I was back in the day, but nowadays I'm like, why am I even having an amber? I know it's rude, but yeah, Belgian strong ales are fun. Just be careful with those quads. Not quads. I don't know. I like quads. Don't get me wrong, Doug, but I enjoy triples much better. Triples give you that delusion that it's like a light beer, and they also kind of give you delusion sometimes that like they're like IPAs because they can be so hoppy sometimes. That like it's almost like an IPA kind of thing going on, Kyle. So
yeah, I hear you.
Triples are fun as hell, but yes, no, quads are not that they're not fun, but
they're
quad will knock you on your ass fast.
I have one in my fridge downstairs. I'm holding off and having that on the show sometime because that might be the only beer I could have that show.
Right. So I got a clip for everything tonight. This clip leads into my first question about Kyle and what's behind him. We're going to get into that because how could we not? But this will lead us into it.
Wow. Like, how'd that guy not die?
Right?
Like, that was like...
Watch him coming in the back there. You see, he's not driving.
Why is he turning?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, what was amazing was as soon as he popped and landed on the ground, he just like gave the car a look like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like the instant adrenaline. Like, oh.
Kyle, are you a motorcycle person?
I had one. And it's like shit like that. That was like I can't not think like shit like that when you're on it, like,
yeah.
Like driving the back roads. If there's a turtle crossing the street at the wrong time, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I actually sold that, which was kind of the down payment start of this.
Yes.
So yeah. Kind of where to start.
You've had this racing. You've had racing, dare I say, in your blood since you were young. So maybe you even want to start there.
Right. Yeah. My dad raced dirt oval stock car stuff from the mid 70s until the mid 90s. And then started again for a couple of years, tried again 2003, 2004 kind of time. I grew up at the racetrack. And then when I was old enough, I got into go-karts, and I raced go-karts when I was 10, 11, 12 to 15, 16, that kind of thing. I kind of quit that when high school came around. I got busy with other things, And then in 2007, I tried let's go racing. So I got my own, I bought and built or whatever, a race car and tried it myself. And then like quickly realized I was much better at like hanging out and socializing and getting drunk. And I was not good at racing, but I was really good at making the car look really cool, which was like, it kind of helped me realize that my passion in graphic design. But yeah, it was one of those, like, racing has always been a part of my life. We'll get into this later, but like now sitting here today, it's kind of like a part of my past. Like, so I'll just explain, like, this is my rat rod that I built with my dad and my uncle. It took us like just a couple of years because we were just kind of piecing it together bit by bit. And like financially, it was just a little here, a little there. So it just took us a minute to get it together. But this is the 6th or 7th rat rod that my dad and uncle had built together. Because when you race for 20 years and you build race cars, you're maintaining your stuff. It's kind of like what he was really good at. So he built his own rat rod. The first one he built was like a 31 Chevy, 2-door sedan. So it was really long and it only has 2 doors, and the front wheels are way out in front with like the suicide front end. So it was just kind of like diving into the deep end and figuring out as you go. A lot of just like garage know-how. I'm really handy with the grinder. But like my uncle was a certified welder at the time. So like all of the welds on this are like world class. It's very strong, it's very safe. It looks this way on purpose. So it's a race car underneath a shell. When we were looking for a start, we found a race car on Craigslist, and just kind of went and bought it and started from there. Cut the roll cage off, brought it down to just the bare frame rails, and literally built the engine into it, and then slapped everything together and made it work visually. Because specifically it was a race car built for oval. The chassis itself has a bit of a curve to it, so it's built in so it can turn left easier. So like you wouldn't really know that, but driving right behind my truck, you can kind of see it. It looks like it's turning, even if it's going straight just a little bit. But it's just a quirky thing about it. But it's 4-wheel disc brakes, all new brake lines. All of the safety stuff is all brand new. The engine has less than 1,000 miles on it. It's like new, but it's a 37 Ford with a 48 Chevy box, and it's sitting on. Well, I can show you. Do you want to?
Let's see it.
And do this switcheroo. You got me, Greg? On my phone?
He's come on. There we go. Well, there we go. Greg, I think you're muted. So.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
Yeah. That's pretty rad stuff. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, you're on mute, Kyle.
Hi.
There we go.
Hi,
there we
that's
go.
better. There we go. Not mute.
The front end here is from a 70 Camaro. So that's how it drives. That's how it feels going down the road. This door handle doesn't work. It's for show. You coming on in, and not sure what y'all can see, but it's just fabricated up from old go-kart side panels. The steering wheel that I used when I was racing go-karts. It's pretty primitive. Yeah, what else? Hey, look at that. There's my favorite beers on my door. That's cool.
Yeah. Priorities.
Back here, I need a new tapper.
Yes.
Is my fuel cell and the battery and the rear end. So there's really nothing to it. Yeah, that's my tour.
That's cool though, man. Like I wouldn't even know where to begin with any of that shit. That's like way beyond my comprehension level.
Yes, it's fun as hell though, and I don't know. I think we were all kind of. I don't want to say groomed, but you know how it is. Especially you know when we were growing up. It's different now. I think more people are more open to, for example, boys playing with dolls and stuff like that. But when we were growing up, it was cars. Doug, it was, all the toys were cars or trucks so it was always something like that. So if you grew up in our era and you were a male, I don't know how you didn't like cars or anything of that, nature. So, right. You didn't, Doug?
No. Here's the thing. So
you tried though.
Yeah, no. What I didn't do was so I grew up in an area that was a big culture thing. Was like cars and
yeah,
cars, country music, and hair metal, and I disliked and I disliked all of it because I disliked where I was living. So it's more like a rebellious thing. Whereas, and I wish that I would have paid more attention. My one brother, he's rebuilt a couple different cars. Not a rat rod. He built like an old like a '66 Comet or something. Like he built a couple different cars, and he builds them, and then he'll drive them a little, and then he'll sell them. And that's just what he does. And I look at that shit, and I'm just like, that is like way over my head.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I'm like I said, I'm really good with the hand grinder, like cleaning off rust and like polishing metal to make it bare. Like I'm good with that, but
yeah.
I'm
on my third because my first two were underwhelming and they're not going to get finished. Just the way.
What about the Stroopwafel? Are you at that yet? Because I want to hear how that is.
No, I'm on Doug.
Yeah, that's the classic that you like.
Kid Kolsch, New Glarus. Yeah, it's only been out for a couple of years, but it's become an instant classic for sure, Doug.
Yeah, I know. Even you and Drosner likes that one too, I believe.
Oh, this is like Drosner's. Like he loves this fucking shit.
Like hey, Kyle, Kyle, can you get any of the New Glarus stuff since do you have to go over the border to find some?
I think we have to cross the border.
Yeah, because I know they don't distribute. I just didn't know if there was like some sort of like, here, we're just on the border. We're going to sneak it over so you can buy it in Minnesota.
That shit's illegal, Doug.
Illegal, whatever.
It's not illegal. It's not illegal to go to Wisconsin, buy New Glarus, and take it home. It's illegal to go to Wisconsin, buy New Glarus, and then sell it in Minnesota. So, and I don't know if we even want to jump into it, Kyle, but he's got enough good beer near him that it's cool.
Yeah.
Minneapolis, St. Paul is just a fantastic place for beer. And Kyle's probably right. He probably drives past 4 or 5 or 7 good breweries to get to Black Sack.
Virtually.
Right, exactly. And this is where Kyle's very privileged. Beer wise for sure. Living up there, man. That place is great. So Kyle, one thing that we haven't talked about, and we can get back to if any of y'all in the comments have questions about any of the racing, please I'll put it up. It's cool. But one thing I do want to get to talk to you, Kyle, about is your local activism. As a friend of yours and a new hot friend, as I described it before, I'm very proud to know you, man. After knowing, the lengths that you will go to affect change in your local area. It's what I want everybody to be. If you feel that you want change or need change, but Doug, Kyle shows up to these crazy ass school board meetings and community meetings and shit, and is he pushes back on the crazies that are there and everything. So I just wanted him to maybe comment on that. What propelled you to do this? You weren't always this way. We just were talking about you drinking and not drinking and driving, but driving and drinking. Driving, then drinking. But I almost said it the wrong way, Doug. But you were young, dumb, and full of beer and all that. And right. So where did that transition where did that transition go? Because we all have a transition where we just are young and crazy, and then we realize that the shit's bigger than us. And at some point, we want to do something about it.
Like the very, very, very beginning of like growing up and evolution and change of me before getting into the community. It was a woman. I met my wife. We started dating, and it was like, hindsight's 2020. I make a kind of a. I'm not trying to say anything disparaging about any of like my queer family. Just to start out there, but like I was a closeted liberal. Not saying anything about making jokes about people that are closeted, but I was a closeted liberal growing up. Straight up, and met my wife. We moved in together and moved out of the Stearns County, Benton County area, outstate Minnesota. And now I live like south of the Twin Cities, really, southern suburb of the Twin Cities. And it was just one of those deals that, like, when you're with somebody that you should be with, you just become relaxed and you just become more of yourself. And the more of myself that I've felt like I'm just relaxing into and becoming, it was just kind of like I see things in a very specific way. And kind of fast forward to having children, and then all of a sudden your babies are getting into kindergarten, and what school are they going to go to, and how do you know if it's a good school? How do you know if it's a bad school? What does it mean if it's a good school? What does it mean if it's a bad school? So I wanted to know all of these things. I'm a full-time dad, so like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Investigating all of these different avenues of kiddos growing up. So I started engaging and finding out things like Facebook's a good resource when you're looking for community things. So I started engaging in the local school board, in local groups. And there was somebody that was running for local school board, and he was calling people morons online. And it was just like, that kind of threw up a red flag. Like, maybe that's not the type of person that should be on a school board if you're using the word moron. I would like to call it the M word, but let's just call it what it is. So, it's like, that shouldn't be. There should be somebody else in the community who is more well suited and understanding to be on a school board. Doesn't that seem normal? And then all of this like perfect storm of political garbage that's happening. And my wife quickly decided, like, no, we're going to try to open and enroll out of our local district, because where we currently live is kind of teeter-tottering on a line of, honestly, more affluent county versus a more rural and very redneck and very racist and backwards county. So it's like, let's just open and roll out of here and try to do the best that we can for our kids. It was a little cognitive dissonance, because you want to be an advocate for change, but also you want to do the best for your kids. So it's like, okay, we're going to play the privilege card. And if there's ever time to play the privilege card, it's for our children getting into a school we want them to get into. Just doing it by the book, doing it by the rules. But if there's a privilege card to be played, there it is. So looking at and starting to pay attention to the new current school district, it was there's videos of people going up in front of the school board saying things like, black men are irresponsible and are like non-existent fathers, because they make poor family choices. It's not their fault. And I'm watching this going like, whoa, okay, this is where we got out of. Okay. And it's like very clearly, like, I clearly am aware. I'm not naive to think that I can change everyone's mind. Like, let's get that. Let's cross that bridge quick. But if that person is going to take that space and say that thing, I will take my space and say my thing. And it very quickly became like, that voice is in the room. My voice is going to be in the room, and who's coming with me? Because for some reason, I've always had the ability just to stand up and like force the decision to say the thing, like, I don't know. I've always been able to do that. And I had a sales career growing up too. So it was like, I was always able to like cold call, whatever. But I know that there are people that are not able to do that, but they might have the right words to say. I also know that there are people that don't feel safe in that environment. Mm-hmm. Like, if I was a Black person, if I was a BIPOC community member, person of color, like, there's no way I would feel safe in that room. Are you kidding me? So it was just like, okay, let's go. And let's just be the voice that is just saying, hey, there are sane, good people in the community as well. So like, I just kind of kept going to say thank you to the school board for making hard decisions. At the time, advocating for a mask mandate. Just explaining that my point of view as a parent in the community was keeping kids in the classroom is the best chance for equity across the board, because there's no way to know what these kids are going home to across the board. There are some kids that are going to go home to great Wi-Fi service and a fridge full of food, and we know that there's some kids that are just not. So keeping them in school, is the best way for equity. So I just kind of went and said a sane thing in front of the school board. Whether or not that's inspiring change, like, cool. I just try to get myself active. Went to a sign making party, I guess. And a woman was running for school board at the time. She's been elected. So it was great to meet her and get to know her public health background and get to be able to say, please vote for this woman. She has a literal public health background. So versus the guy that calls people morons, like, this is the person we should be voting for. I don't care what you think about her politics. Like, she understands how to keep people healthy and alive. Let's put her on the school board during a time of an endemic. So it was been really great meeting some people that way too. Through that, I've been a part of a church coalition that's a little bit more faith-based. I'm not a very religious person, but I I understand the messaging. My specific church is very socially justice aware. They're very woke, to put it bluntly. So I don't have a problem like saying, hey, I do it, I'm active in my local church community. So through then there was an opportunity to write for a grant. I spearheaded a group to just kind of put words on paper, figuring with the graphic design and copywriting background, I can wordsmith a few things. Was awarded a grant for breaking down white supremacy, which is like, hey, that's not going to change at all. But it's like, it's not going to change white supremacy. We're not going to dismantle white supremacy in Farmington, Minnesota. Like, I get that. But we're modeling proper behavior, and we're a group of mostly cis white people saying that BIPOC community leaders should be compensated for their time and energy. And that's kind of like the basis behind it. So it's like all of these things are dominoes, I feel, that have just kind of fallen into each other and fallen over. And here I am advocating for my girls' world that they're growing up into, because shit's on fire all over the place and the world sucks. So it's like, just try to be an advocate for change and an advocate for positivity, because there's so much negativity out there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, those are usually the loudest people, like the ones that are calling people morons. And I have yet to understand the appeal of that. The appeal of it. Like, I don't understand why you think it's good to be a dick to people. I don't understand that at all. Like, you watch these freaking, and it's always the school board meetings, and it's like the Wild West at some of these things. And it's just people saying the most crazy shit possible and yelling about freedom, but like not really freedom. You just, it's just, you don't like having to do something that helps the greater good, to the mask mandate specifically. But I admire that you're able to do that. I'm a person who's very linear in how I think. So like, if I don't have a path, I struggle to start. That makes sense. Like, and just going, there's all these things I'd love to do, and I don't know where to begin. And you don't seem to have that blockade, which is good. I just wish I had a little more of that in me, because I tend to need like a kind of a path a little bit to go where I need to go. Like a rat in a maze, give me the cheese. Let me find my way that way.
There you go. I think it started by pissing people off online. Like for some reason that comes naturally. And then it was just kind of like other people kind of joined the conversation. And then before you know it, like, I know that this is just another just specific example of just going and using your voice to say that I'm going to take this space. Like, it's as simple as that. It's like the crazy people are there saying the crazy shit, and show up and say, I'm going to use my voice, my sane voice, to take up space as well. Thank you for the time. It's pretty much as simple as it gets. There's been a big win in my hometown of Farmington. I think all they have yet to do is sign the proclamation, fingers crossed. But last year, kind of context, there's all of these like community groups in Farmington, Minnesota. And I was kicked out of one because I was just like, oh, this is clearly like a right-wing leaning cesspool of garbage. They're like, no, it's freedom. I'm like, oh, homosexuals. And then I got kicked out. So then I created a group mocking that group, and I used the same name except for one word. So then people kind of like accidentally joined my group thinking that it was a silly Facebook thing. And now that group that I started has like 1,300 members. But one of the people that joined reached out to me and was like, hey, this is great. You're pissing a lot of people off, but you're pissing the right kind of people off. And she was submitting a proclamation for Juneteenth, for the city to just adopt a proclamation for Juneteenth. Not have celebration, not have a parade, like just sign a document. And the city, what did they did an opinion, so there was non-official. They took an opinion on it, and the opinion lost 3-2. So then it didn't pass to go to a vote, which would have been an official thing. So then nothing really happened about it. My friend followed up about it and got kind of the scoop about it. And then we went and talked. I went and talked at City Hall and just basically said that was an act of exclusion. There's no other simpler way of putting it. So it's like, how is the community supposed to feel when the city council and mayor are making acts of exclusion? I think we hit a nerve because the mayor said that the excuse that he used was a Juneteenth proclamation would be impactful for some, but for others it would resonate differently. And I was just kind of like, that to me really just it turned things on its head, because I'm like, that's just the racism. That's the racism being explained through. That's saying I'm not racist. I just know that a lot of people in town are not going to like it. So don't tell me that. Don't tell me that in 2021. Don't tell me that very nearly post George Floyd being murdered. Don't tell me that right now. Like, this is not the time for that. And so the news was, I think last Monday, they adopted a Juneteenth proclamation, and it's worded very well. It is not lightly worded. It goes to encourage citizens of Farmington, Minnesota, to look into Juneteenth and look into the systems that are keeping our BIPOC community members oppressed. I was like, okay, that's the response that we're looking for. That's absolutely. So gonna go back and say thank you. When it's all signed and sealed and everything, like, for sure gonna go back and stroke the ego and say, look, that was a good thing you did. That's awesome. Yeah. For sure. with skim milk.
He's
With
got Metamucil.
Oh, look at that. Some love, buddy.
Oh, dude, Manny, I don't know you, but I love you. He likes the cereal, right?
You gotta, yeah, he's a cereal guy. So yeah.
I love cereal.
He is.
Even though cereal was invented to make you stop masturbating, I love cereal.
Yeah, and I still masturbate, so the cereal thing didn't work.
Right? Kellogg.
Wow.
That's not a well-known thing? That got weird?
Wow.
Did it just get weird?
That escalated quickly.
Look it up. It's not me saying it.
No,
I thought I was done. I thought I was done feeling awkward after last week, though.
Yeah, well, no.
Cereal was invented to curb
masturbation.
That was
the actual thing. They were trying to deter masturbation.
See? I didn't make it weird. That's the truth.
That's some crazy ass shit. And you've of course opened up that can of worm.
No. No. I think Manny's starting to lie to make friends. You can't do that because if you're dominant-handed, you can't be that ambidextrous. Because
what if your dominant hand isn't the one you use to masturbate with?
There's a whole rhythm thing there, though. Like, I get it that it can physically be possible, but like, it's a science versus art thing. Like, I don't know.
All right, so I'm gonna kill this whole mood here.
The Bible. We do love Jesus, guns, and babies. And that wasn't a slogan I thought of, oh my gosh, let me think of something that'll be attention grabbing. No, I was speaking before Marjorie Taylor Greene, before she was Congresswoman, and I had 5 minutes. And so I had to get out what I wanted to say. And I said, I believe in everything you believe in. I believe in Jesus, guns, and babies. And the crowd went crazy. They loved it. It was from the Holy Spirit. That's what we stand for.
Wrong.
Jesus, guns, and babies.
Wrong.
Holy
Fucking
shit.
crazy.
Don't sing it.
So, Doug, you have another cider, and then you have a public service announcement.
I do? Oh, yes, I do. Okay. Sorry, I forgot about what that was. So this is another one, New Leaf. This one is called Blue Leaf. This is a blueberry cider. So what's interesting is it's got a little bit of a tinge to it because it's made with apples and blueberries. But I will tell you, this thing, the blueberry is like perfect. It's not overwhelming and it's not too soft. It just adds a little flavor to it. It's really super duper drinkable. So, crisp, good. So, yeah, this is excellent. Also, drinking it out of my Judas glass. See that, lady? Fuck you and your stupid Holy Spirit shit. Sorry, not to disparage the folks that are religious. I just when you start down that and you are a political person, if you're doing it as a political thing, then that is not what that is.
No, she's using religion to push her bullshit, and that's bullshit. And there's supposed to be wasn't there supposed to be a church and state and the balance, and we're supposed to keep them separate, and now y'all want to push that, and then when they get pushback, Doug, they go on their rant about how we're persecuting them. It's just, and then rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? They're being persecuted because they're doing something that even the founding fathers, who are racist, sexist, homophobic as all hell, understood that. You know what I mean? Understood that.
Part of the reason they wanted to get away.
Church and state shouldn't be mixed. But also,
I was just going to say that part of the reason they wanted to get away from England was because England had state-sponsored religion.
Right.
And they didn't think that was fair. They thought you should be able to worship the way you want. Now,
right.
That's one of the few things they actually got completely right.
I was going to say, right. They got that right. Let's give them a round of applause. They're good. Yeah, but
not so much on the racism and the sexism and all that shit. But hey, on that bit.
No. Right. But real quick though, before we get to your PSA, one thing that not a lot of people I see are talking about, and it's just the truth. Deal with it how you may. You may not like me saying it, but I really don't give a shit. The whole Roe versus Wade and that being overturned, and how people are literally yelling about how the Supreme Court really doesn't. The Supreme Court makes up their own rules and they really don't follow the Constitution. I have to disagree with you, actually. The Constitution is, and the people who made it, as we just went through, were racist, sexist motherfuckers. So the Supreme Court taking people's rights away and being sexist and racist all day long, it's it's backing up the Constitution that these people wrote. So if you have a problem with it, I'm not saying don't have a problem with the SCOTUS, but they're only really listening to the racist piece of shit document that is the fucking Constitution. So, this is I learned in Black Twitter Spaces. This is one of those things, which is the institution is so massive, and you have to start, in my opinion, we have to start on a local level, like Kyle Thompson has already knows because he's done it. We could change the SCOTUS if we would have voted Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump, things would be different. But there's still a big gap there, and it's just still telling. So until we change that Constitution in more effective ways, Doug, I don't know if we're going to get. And I'm not justifying what the SCOTUS is about to do. Of course I'm not. Obviously, taking women's rights away is some bullshit, and it's some Handmaid's Tale shit that you told me after you saw the Handmaid's Tale, Doug, that was going to happen. So you told me. I heard you. Nothing I can do though from here. With that being said, Doug, you have something to say. And we'll give you the floor.
Oh, wow. Thanks. We talked about this briefly, but it was something you said you agreed with me on. And I had posted in a private group, in the Dad Bloggers group that we have talked about.
Hold on a second. Whether I agree with you or not, it needs to be said, and it's an opinion that needs to be heard. So
yeah, and that's I think the opinion part is what you wanted, not necessarily whether you agreed with it or not. But you and I are kind of on the same. You're on the same page with me on this.
For sure. But
so basically, the gist of it was, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a fairly long post. But so it basically starts with me talking about next week will be 6 months since I had my heart attack. Exactly. So next week's show, I will be 6 months out from my heart attack. But I had finished cardiac rehab. I got all my statistics, all the things. My blood pressure's great. All my heart stuff's good. All my readings are great. My blood work's all come back A-okay. Now, through this whole procedure, this whole process, and the whole thing, I lost somewhere between 40 and 50 pounds. But it was not like I was so fucking terrified to eat for the first 2 months after that happened that I just basically like I lost weight like super fast, and it was because of being afraid. And now I'm at a place where it's okay because I kind of get that. Okay, well, I do have sort of a budget of sodium and cholesterol that I can have, but I just have to be smart about it. Whereas at the beginning, I was like, none of it, and I was just. The thing is, my wife has been with me on the same dietary journey. She has less restrictions, so there's some things she takes liberties with that I can't. But throughout this, she has lost no weight. And the problem is with that is she has some very built-in systemic views of how she should be perceived as a woman. And I just didn't quite, because I'd been so much in my own head, I hadn't quite realized just how hard it had been on her to see me be relatively skinny compared to what I was, and her not losing any weight. And her view is that people look at me with her as, she used the phrase, fat woman with the skinny guy. Or she said hot guy because she's my wife and she thinks I'm hot, and that's great. Well, I fucking think she's hot too. But I could tell her that till the cows come home. But there's just a societal, systemic pressure to be skinnier, sexier, all this stuff. Never mind that she's completely sexy and beautiful the way she is. She doesn't need to change. I love her. I'm married to her. I fucking love being with her. But it was just this whole realization of just, I don't walk through this life as a woman, so I don't have that pressure. I don't have the pressure to look a certain way. I mean, to some degree we do, but yeah, Matthew McConaughey's and all that go away. But it just kind of really pissed me off that that this woman who's a great person and who's my partner has to struggle so hard just to feel okay in her own skin, and had to feel that way, had to work at that all of the time. And I just, I ended up by just saying, fuck the norms, love who you love, and love them for how they look. Because that's what I think. I don't know. I think we're making strides in a lot of it, especially like my kids' generation. I think they fucking get it like so much better than us. And I feel bad because it's really hard on her. It's really hard on her to see she's happy for me that I'm doing so well, but she feels like people judge her because of how I look now. And that fucking sucks. Because I love her as she is. I don't need her to change. I want her to be who she is. And I just wish people would just be okay with that. End rant. Slash.
Thoughts, Kyle? Father of two girls.
Woo! I mean, it's like, when does that start? When does that start? And let's quantify it. Let's aggregate that. When does that start? How many images are they force fed throughout their entire life about fit in this shape and fit inside this shape, fit inside this shape. And if you're not inside this shape, you're an easy target for anybody that's feeling anything that's looking to lash out. I don't. There's so much, because it's like, on one hand, I want to reference the online spat, I guess, between DJ Khaled and The Rock, because DJ Khaled said something about how he doesn't perform certain things on his wife, and The Rock says, "Oh yeah, the king always treats his queen well." And that's kind of my point of view on it. Like, I like what I like. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And when the time is that important time, they're gonna know. I'm talking kind of in circles right now. When the moment is when the moment is
when a man and love each other, when a man and woman love each other very much.
When you're there, like that's the moment that, like, that's how you feel about it. And like, you can only fake that so long, right? I don't know. It's so tough. 4 beers in. Yeah. Look, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Let's go there right now.
Yeah.
How hot is she? How hot is she? And like, it's like she's I should know her name. I'm sorry, but like, she's called. She's it's not just a model, right? You can't just call her a model. You have to call her an Asian curve model, or whatever the terminology is. Yeah, strides are taking body positivity. Like, it's a thing now versus it never used to be a thing. It's, I'm just kind of riffing here. It's ableism as well. It's, like, if you're overweight, you're deemed less than. It's just like, no, that's not how that works. But like, yeah, it's everything. It's messaging. It's so ingrained and pervasive in everything that we do. It's like, and like, I don't live my life in this negative bubble. But it's like the Matrix. Like, once you see it, you can't not see it. Everything is those green zeros and ones right now. Like, my brain wants to make a connection between this and like the pink tax. Do you know that when you're buying pacifiers for your baby girl, if it's a blue pacifier pack of 3, it costs $1.88. If it's a pink pacifier pack of 3, it costs like $3.98. Why?
Same with any clothes that are even if they're remotely similar and they're just slightly different colors, is like, it's fucking crazy. Like, so the idea of it in our house, like, we have three boys and one non-binary child. The non-binary child is female presenting, but the stuff that's the stuff that our boys have to get, and it's relatively the same things. Why is that such a disparity? And it's such a weird thing to think that, like, if I'm gonna get a comb is cheap, but if you get a brush that's specifically for certain hair, or like, they make it so specific, and that brush is 4 times as much as a comb. And it's the same material, just maybe a couple more times for brushing, but it's fucking 4 times the amount, and it's all because it's marketed to women. It's your point on that is something I hadn't thought of, but that is exactly right. That stupid tax on that is ridiculous.
And all that does is just it verifies value, continues to verify value over and over, death by 1,000 cuts. And like, before you know it, you are comfortable saying you run like a girl and you throw like a girl, and on all of those things. And it's just because it just doesn't mean anything. It's like microaggressions, times 1,000. It's crazy how much even saying it's crazy, right? That's in its own way, that's able to speak as well. So it's bananas. How like it's everywhere all the time, and how can somebody like your wife not feel that way, right? But then, you know, there's so many reasons, and there's so many logical reasons not to, right? It's such a crapshoot. It's such a horrible situation. But like with my two girls, my oldest is 6 and my youngest is almost 2.5. And I mean, we're seeing it with the 6-year-old. If we want to get her a sneaker, let's go to the boys aisle because they will last longer. Because they're just, boys will be boys and they're more durable. Oh, fuck that. You know, that's just bullshit. So, you know, we're kind of explaining those things as we go. So, yes. Thank you, JHG.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just, it's crazy how, you know, growing up, I have an older brother, and I have, you know, my uncles are very prevalent in my life. You know, building the rat rod with my uncle and my dad. Like I never imagined the idea of having daughters.
Yes. Yep.
That moment of silence for that gorgeous woman. As this.
Yeah, here we go. I mean,
yeah. Bye, Kyle.
Right. Right.
I mean, like, wow. Where was I?
I know you're 4 beers in, so we forgive you. It's okay.
Right. That shit's hilarious.
No, it's something that we want our girls to be aware of. If there's a way, I mean, it's like they're not going to single-handedly bring down the system. You know, it's like work the system or have it work you. If there's a way for them to be aware of it, and then at times use it to their advantage, would be like best case scenario. I don't know what that would ever look like, but like, it's just, if you're unaware of it, man, it can just overwhelm you and take you under. It's so bad.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, you know, you're in it with your kids where they're really small yet, you know, where how do you, all right, listen, this is bullshit, but the system still functions like this. Here's what you can do. And don't listen to those fucking numbskulls. And that's really fucking hard, especially when they're young, because they're impressionable. And, you know, people telling them dumb shit like, the thing that drives me nuts is when they're little and they're like, oh, well, look, that boy's cute. What if you two are boyfriend and girlfriend? And I'm like, will you stop pushing that heteronormative non-fucking sense to them? Let them fucking find their fucking way. They're 6. And then you bitch about, well, they can't learn about people that have gay parents because that's influencing them. I'm like, you're trying to force them into being like a boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, you're doing the exact same thing. It's just a heteronormative thing. So you think it's okay, and it is not.
Because you're heterosexual. Right.
So
yeah,
I gotta jump in and say this right now, because the same type of people will be so confused and so conflicted and so upset about this non-binary or trans rights, and those are the same kind of people that'll look behind me and be like, she's sexy, ain't she? How is that female? What is that about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of people that are like, yep, I'm gonna take the truck, I'm gonna take her out. Like, well, your vehicle's a her?
Because she's got curves.
Because she's got curves. But then those are also the same kind of people that'll put nutsack on the back of their truck and call it a she. Who's confused and like, who needs to shut the fuck up?
Well, and they hate this too. And don't tell me she doesn't have curves. So they're all confused.
You know, and if it was somebody said that, hey, she's a nice car right there, right? And you go, yeah, he is. I would be,
yeah,
that'd be the kind of dumb.
That the hell out of him. Be like,
yeah, exactly. Just
how would you want to ride a he?
I don't know. Why do you
And
want to forcefully ride a woman? Oh wait, I get why you do. Ha ha.
It's all there, man.
I'm kind of like Jill, man. I'm struggling. I'm still struggling to lose the weight that I need to lose, Doug. So I still got curves, bitches. So
and they're damn sexy curves, my man.
Right, men can have curves too. Damn it, the whole curves thing. Get out of here with your curves.
Yeah, man, I will say that I actually feel really scrawny, and I'm not real happy with it. So yeah, like the thing is, it's not just when you lose weight that fast, you don't just lose fat. I lost a lot of muscle mass. Like I lost.
You lose muscle, yeah.
Yeah. So and the thing is when you're recovering from that, you don't want to do anything really heavy. So it's like I was just like I was moving we had a pretty bad snowstorm here like 3 weeks ago. Now it's 90 degrees. So global warming. Anyway, so we had a tree, like a big ass cherry fall, and my neighbor and I cut it all up. Well, the logs are like this and fucking huge, and I'm like carrying them, and in my brain, I'm like, "Don't blow a gasket, Doug." That's all I could think of. But that was actually kind of difficult for me, and before all this happened, that would have been not difficult at all. I would have just thrown them all in the fucking. I would have thrown probably 4 or 5 of them in a wheelbarrow and wheeled them up to where I got to dump the wood. But now it's like here's 2, and that's where I'm at. And yeah.
Curve your enthusiasm.
Yep, Doug. Though cherry's no joke. Like the amount of
that's a dense fucking wood.
Yeah, that's a real legit hardwood. Like that's the other thing. Where I grew up, there's a big hardwood cabinet door facility that my family worked at for 30 years. So like everyone in my family worked there. So like I know more about hardwood than I should. You know, like I could identify a species of a hardwood just by looking at it as I'm walking out. Like, oh, that's a nice red oak.
Is that what she said?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Doug pulled that dumbass joke out last week. I thought it was, so I got to do it this week.
Your turn.
Right. Right. And I don't
by
know
the way,
this...
Kyle, you said what is this thing you're drinking? Because that thing
what
looks
is that dark?
Thick grape juice.
New glass.
Good
Thanks
catch.
for noticing, Doug.
Good catch, Doug. Excellent.
Yeah. Look at that can.
Oh, bring that closer to the.
No shit.
Doug's gonna need to see that.
I thought about you, Doug, when I found this. I'm like, Doug's gonna appreciate the can art with this. This is okay. So that story I told about how I was ordering coffee and Greg was like, "Hey, you should get in a beer," and I'm like, "I'm in a beer now." That was October, right? And then my daughter was born December, and then COVID hit January, February, and then shit locked down in March. So jumping into the craft beer world was my COVID hobby. And speaking of curves, hey,
yeah,
yeah. So let's just do this. This is how deep I am into these fucking maple sours. I'm sorry if I've said fuck a couple times. You can do that. Like we're okay with that.
No, you fucking can't. You can't fucking say fuck.
My mother-in-law was just here last week because I was at Disney, and we're probably not going to even get there. But like, she's old school, and you can't say fart in front of her. But lately, I've been like, no, I'm going to say fuck because fuck hurts nobody. It's the other word that is hurtful, right? The derogatory term for your queer family. So fuck hurts nobody. I'm sorry about that. That was a weird tangent. This fucking thing. This is a collaboration between Collective Arts and Untitled Art.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Because Untitled Art had a collaboration with Collective Arts,
right,
on a maple lemon blueberry grunt. What's a grunt? A grunt is a Canadian steamed cobbler. And the grunt is what it sounds like when it's like steaming up and grunting down. So like Eric Schoberg, I think, looked it up and figured out what a grunt was. And like that was the Untitled Art collaboration with Collective Arts grunt. That was just bonkers. Another one of these sours that's just, it takes you on a fucking ride. And it's just like, these are the diamonds in the rough. This is the reverse collaboration because you can't find that grunt anymore. But my creative ass found this, the reverse collabo from Collective Arts to Untitled Art, the Maple Lemon Blueberry Sour. It's not a grunt, but it's like when you do a collabo, it's the same kind of thing that both breweries make, right? So like understanding that, I'm like, I found this in the at Total Wine, and I thought this is the same fucking batch, but just kind of like their riff of it, and it is. It's amazing. And the can art, I will stop shaking it, is from oops, Karilla Karahan from Istanbul. So
yeah, we don't give enough credit to the artists when we can find them on the can. That's something that we don't do, and I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah,
I just love that. It's simple but really fucking striking.
Damn, it is. Oh, you can see the cat on top of it.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that until Cattywampus.
It's just
that's badass.
So whatever Nouveau, whatever, like it means nothing about the drink itself, but like this thing is.
But look at that! That thing looks super thick too.
Not very thick, just real dark.
Now that you move it, it doesn't look as thick as the other one.
Yeah, there's no like viscosity, right? There's no particulates.
Wow.
But with the maple, like you get the lemon, you get the blueberry, and then like the aftertaste, you're just hanging out with maple the whole rest of the time. It's so good. Fucking good. It's so good.
Well, damn. Doug, do you have another one?
Fuck, that's good.
No, but I need to get another one. But I'm just saying that looks so good because it looked like real thick blueberry stuff, and I was like, "What is that?" Because that looked awesome, and I'm glad I asked because that can art is pretty badass, and the idea that you were able to shout out the artist really is something that if I find that, I'm going to start actually doing that because I'm such a fan of beer can art that I want to be able to give kudos to the folks that actually make it. You know,
I'll put some pictures on the feed. Punch Gut at Drecker. I mean, it's like you're talking Illustrator to the nth degree. The stuff, the can art from Drecker, it's all like real gothic and death kind of, but like cartoonish. His stuff is just it's pro. It's so professional. It's so good. The struggle bus. I have another.
That was a really cool can art too.
I have a. I was hoping not to get to this one because I don't like it.
Full disclaimer.
You don't have to have it if you don't like it.
But like, look at this thing. Art, man. This is Drecker slang du jour.
That carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
Yeah, man.
Why?
Well, I mean, look. Of course, I'm going to buy the carrot cake because the maple lemon blueberry sour is a 9.1 out of 10, right? So if you have me at maple lemon blueberry sour and great notion. If you have me at triple strawberry marshmallow shake, how do you not have me at carrot cake? You know, right? Like, you already got me at carrot cake, even if it is bad. Like, I mentioned, like, I'm involved with my church and blah blah blah. Like, I gave 2 of them away to my mom's group at church. Like, that's how bad it is. I handed 2 of them away at my mom's group at church. Okay, that's how little I liked it.
I feel you.
But I was like, maybe if it just is room temperature, it'll be all right, because that's kind of what sours do sometimes.
Yeah. He has been.
Is that Alex?
I don't know. I can't tell such Facebook user, but he has been. Yeah.
I had a double IPA.
The blueberry coffee selection from the Great Ocean from the Extreme River was a little bit too much. Blueberry coffee? So, just at Disney?
Oh, yeah.
When were you at Disney?
Yeah.
And what does Disney look like nowadays?
The
reaction. We haven't talked. I knew you were at Disney. I saw the pictures. But yeah. What is
okay. So just understanding, like, I have this lens of advertising creation, sort of thing. Like I see things in that lens. So, like, specifically what that means was when I go to Disney, I've never been there before. And so when we get there and I'm on like Main Street USA in the Magic Kingdom, where it's like, it's the pathway street down to Cinderella's castle, and like all the shops on the side. Like when I'm looking up and I'm seeing like gold leaf in the lettering on the windows in the third story, third level, like that's the kind of like, damn, that's really looks great. And like that sort of detailed, deep level type stuff, I couldn't pull myself out of it, to be honest with you. Like it was, a lot of it was overwhelming, just because it was. I said before, my daughter was born in December, and when January, February COVID hit, so like, in Minnesota, we were ready to hunker down for winter, March, April type of a thing. But COVID was a different story. We hunkered down that whole first year. So that whole second year, it was extra waves and all this other stuff. Vaccinations came out, so that changed things a little bit. But like, my 2.5-year-old is unvaccinated because there's no vaccination for her yet. Very soon, hoping. So we're just kind of like, we did everything that we're supposed to do, and at a certain point, and like again, I went to the school board to talk about implementing a mask mandate and how parents in the community would support implementing a mask mandate, right? So I'm very pro science. I'm very pro COVID's a big thing, regardless if it's like, oh, it only kills like 4 kids. Like, I don't want one of those 4 to be my fucking kid, idiot. You know, like that's kind of my viewpoint on it. So we did all the things. We hunkered down for all the times. We live very close to the Minnesota Zoo. That was not accessible for my youngest and I to go to. All of these different things, you know, everything was shut down. So like, we got through it just fine, right? But like mental health stuff, as a parent, you have to start taking into account, we can continue this for sure. We can continue hunkering down for sure. But like, what is this going to cost? Is this going to cost anything in the long run? Everything that every like legitimate research about kids comes back about how resilient they are, and under weird circumstances, kids bounce right back. And I've seen that with my youngest. So we had all the hardships, and it was time to just say, we did everything. The scales are starting to even out, where we need to do something to just kind of like relax a little bit, reward ourselves for all of the stuff that we've been going through. My 6-year-old is in kindergarten, and she didn't complain once about needing to wear a mask. She just wore a mask. She was a trooper, literally did not hear one word about it. So it's like, okay, cool. Let's do this and just kind of like go have a good time, mental health vacation, literally mental health vacation. We get there, and like, to answer the question, what does it look like? Like, it took me a day and a half to realize the infrastructure was just Disney. So like the interstate system, once you get down there, I-4 or whatever it is, like it's just constructed for Disney. It gets you from one park to the next park through a cloverleaf system or whatever. Like all of the cars on the road that you see there are people just going to and from Disney. Like it is just, once you get into that area, like it is just a metro area of Disney. To be real, my wife and I had a little bit of a miscommunication on expectations the first day in the park. And I'm like, how classic is that? That's the normal thing for people to argue about. You know, I was very much like, hey, there's a ton of people. And look, at Disney, if you're not on your phone planning the next thing, lightning past this, order food here, check with the map, is the food on the way to the lightning pass? Like it takes a bit to plan this out. If you're not planning it out, it can be real clunky day. You can spend a week in each park. We knew bringing a 2-year-old to Disney was a crazy thing. We brought our strollers to Disney. Like we flew the stroller out. I fixed it up with some zip ties because that old girl, right? That old stroller has been some places. But like, you have to keep yourself sane by realizing it does take some time to travel with a stroller, merging and walking speed and merging out. Like all of these things take like an extra 10, 15 seconds. And that adds up real quick when you're at Disney. Like that's the difference between making the Indiana Jones show or not making the Indiana Jones show. By the second day, we decided that the afternoon was going to be more successful. So we hung out and just did lazy mornings and then went to the park in the afternoon where we could have the girls just sleep in the stroller and just keep going with our day. But it was, first timers are at a disadvantage, 100%. And like you get to the Star Wars land and it's so fucking cool in the Star Wars land. If you didn't know Star Wars, you'd feel like you got into the garbage area of Disney because it's just kind of like garbage and dirty. But like there's no English signage on the buildings. It's all the Star Wars language. So like if you don't know what building you're walking into, you don't fucking know what building you're walking into. And at that point, I'm tired. I'm overweight. I've laced up my Monarchs and I'm just like, I want to sit down. And I'm like, I don't care if this is a bathroom or a lightsaber shop or like, what the fuck building is this? Right. That was
we stumbled into the Jar Jar Binks fucking display. Fuck. Well, I'm sitting down anyway.
And just a detail, like my wife didn't have a reservation for the droid builder. We thought we could walk up and just do that. Apparently you can build your own BB-8 with like customizable colored parts and stuff like that. So you can come out of there with a really funky looking BB-8. And it was one of those things like we thought we could walk up and do, but it was like, oh boy, you need a reservation. So like right then and there, hard pill to swallow, not going to do something that you've been planning to do for 2 months. Moving on, let's do the next thing. There's so much to do. Surprised about my 2-year-old. She turned into a trooper. She did the Buzz Lightyear ride 2 different times, where you shoot the lasers. Like Rainey, my youngest, was just an awesome trooper. We went to Magic Kingdom 2 days, and the second day was the most successful. We went to Tomorrowland, People Mover, we kind of found out that like the shows were better than the rides for us, for the little kids, which I didn't think so. Going into it, I'm like, I'm not going to want to go to any shows. Let's just continue doing the rides. But like Frozen sing along, do you know that they snow on you? It snows on you in that show. When it's 90 in Disney and you're a fat dude from Minneapolis, like going and getting snowed on and sitting down is the best fucking thing you can imagine
ever, right?
It was amazing. Let it snow, right? Like it was great.
All right, now were you hoping that the snow came down and it was cheese curds? That would have been dope.
Joke.
Just be like,
feed you a cheese curd in your condition right now.
Hey, I like cheese curds and I eat them. They're delicious.
Yeah, you know, surprising enough, like the Haunted Mansion, which is kind of a classic deal now, not new. The Haunted Mansion is not new, but the technology in the ride holds up. Like it was really cool. And for me, I'm on the ride going like, that's some really impressive tech. Like there's a part where you circle around a floating head, holographic floating head. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, the lines was tricky because my 6-year-old understands time as in like now is now, and then we have to go do something because it'll be later, right? Like she doesn't quite understand an hour standing in line and what that would cost on an overall day. So like I was saying earlier with like stroller walk time, right? You can only afford to spend 4 hours in line over the course of your day. Use it wisely. You know, like that was a concept that was tricky to get. But like so overwhelming. Just overwhelming in the detail and the polish, and everybody that is that's a character there, or you know, they don't call them staff, they're actors, right? Like the cast. All of the cast was just phenomenal. The security, the metal detector people, like it was all just spectacular. It was so cool. We have a brick cell phone charger, so we got beeped everywhere we went. And it was cast members. Yeah, it was so cool. It was so cool.
Cool.
Yeah, to the point where like I don't want to be over dramatic, but like I didn't break myself physically, but like got up to that point where you're just like, I'm gonna go and just push and push and push because we got a double stroller. These girls are sleeping. I'm just gonna push this until I break. You know? So yeah, it was great. The fireworks show at Cinderella's Castle, the 9 p.m. fireworks show that we made with a 6-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, like a bunch of crazy people. Amazing, just absolutely amazing, you know. And to kind of put the cherry on top, there were a couple times. Let me read this. Yeah, for sure. What JHG said. I
have Disney. I have a Disney question that is unrelated, but Kyle, please finish it because I want to
wrap this up with the cool thing. Like,
you, Doug. Yep.
I am pro crying. I just am. I'm very emotional. I am pro crying. There were a handful of times, like Mickey's PhilharMagic 3D show, right? Where you're just sitting there enjoying a rest, not on your feet, and the opening, the very, very, very pre-opening to Peter Pan comes on, and just that little melody that like I haven't heard in 20 years, it just hits, and it's just like, oh, all of a sudden I'm deep into my feels. Like it was, and that's the magic of it, right? Like you're supposed to have a little bit of those moments back and forth, but
Yes.
yeah, everything hit. We got into our hotel room. Instead of 2 queen beds, there was 1 king bed. So 4 of us trying to figure out how to sleep together in the same bed. You know, it's like you're making memories. It's just what it is. Yeah. No, I don't know how I made it, but I'm back. Like we made it.
Doug, that would never work with your family.
No,
your kids
because
your boys are taller than fucking you.
Yeah, so I'm not quite 6'1". My two sons from my first marriage are 6'3" and 6'4".
Right.
If we had a king size bed, I'm like, I'm sleeping on the floor, I guess, because and so we have a 20-year-old, two 17-year-olds, and a 15-year-old, and like none of them are tiny. So yeah, that was like. Hey, before I get to my Disney thing, I grabbed another thing, and this is not a cider. I was out of a. So I have a 50 miles to Mexico Mexican dark lager from Warhorse Brewing, which is a brewery out of Geneva, New York, which is upstate New York. They make one of my favorite Scotch ales. Yeah. They make Royal Kilted Spectre, which is one of my favorite Scotch ales. This is
dark lagers are big in Mexico too, Doug. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, like if I get a like a Dos Equis, if I'm at like a Mexican restaurant and they offer shitty options, I will always get the dark version of their stuff. So this is look at the fucking color on that, man. Ooh,
yeah,
baby. That looks
I was
excellent.
told that dark lagers are as widespread in Mexico as IPAs are in America. That was a couple years
That's
ago.
wide.
So I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it's really wide.
Yeah. So this is
IPAs in America are
super
out
good.
of control.
Yeah,
it's
only
good,
4.7. Yeah, it's a Mexican lager. It's only 4.7, but I didn't have any more ciders, so I just grabbed the lightest thing I had. And I just picked it up today because I was like, ooh.
Does it look like the amber that it appears to be?
Yes, it looks
or
like.
Does it drink like
it almost, no, it drinks like a really good version of the Dos Equis dark.
Okay,
that's what it drinks like. And but it's really good.
I forgot to say the numbers.
So that's
Sorry.
okay. We're getting to that. Well, okay, so before I get to my Disney thing, let's go, Greg, with your dragon's milk, because I need to hear about that shit, because that's making me angry that I can't find that. But go ahead. I'm ready to fight you.
All right, Doug. So it says it's a bourbon barrel aged stout with stroopwafel cookies, coffee, caramel, and cinnamon. Okay.
Stroopwafel.
So just like every Dragon's Milk Reserve, the bourbon is there, but it's not, Doug, it's not overwhelming. It's a nice bourbon. You know what I'm saying? It's assertive, but it's not, you already know.
Well, you know how it is. No, I was just going to say they do it. I was just going to say they do a phenomenal job of balancing flavors. They're one of the better ones that do it. So yeah,
it's a clear blend. So the bourbon barrel's nice. We're talking 11% here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's assertive, but it's not more than that. On the stroopwafel, I'm just not getting, Doug. I'm trying. I want the stroopwafel. Coffee, moderate. Caramel, sweet, a little bit of sweetness. Cinnamon, enough to know that there's cinnamon there, but not too much. Overall, it's pretty damn delicious. And it's not overly sweet, Doug, and it's not overly boozy. And you can tell that there's a stout in here somewhere. So I would give it nice reviews. Maybe someone else's palate will pick up that stroopwafel. That's what I was looking for. Because I don't know if you ever had stroopwafels, Doug. They're awesome.
Oh yeah,
and if you get those round ones, you get them.
And you put them over your coffee cup.
Yes, and then it warms up the caramel side, and then
so good.
Yes. We get the ones. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you can get them, but there's ones that you can get from Sweden, I think it is, or Norway, or wherever the hell they come from.
Yeah.
Sorry,
all these has them, and you can get.
Yeah, I'm in America, so we don't. we don't care about where the shit's from. We just get the benefits of it, and who cares about the history and the science? Who gives a fuck, right, Doug? Like, yeah. We're Americans. We're just privileged to have that shit, and we're just gonna eat it. But no, my son really loves stroopwafels, and then like he was actually the one that put it all together that you could put the stroopwafel on top of the coffee because we didn't know this, and he's like, "Look at this," and I was like, "Oh!" And then when we Googled it, it was like everywhere. Right? It was. That's what I'm saying. We're just dumb Americans about it. But you ever? Kyle is a coffee guy, obviously, because we went for coffee. Kyle, we're talking about stroopwafels. Do you ever have them?
I thought it was stroopwafel.
Well, that's our American pronunciation. Yes,
right. Because we're dumb and ignorant
things. Yeah. No, I do coffee a lot because I need it.
Right.
When my kids wake up.
Woofle. Right.
Woofle. I got my little one is a chronic undersleeper, so. Not gonna go there, not gonna complain about it, but like my average time waking up is like 5:30. So that's my coffee game is just like my friend in the morning. The stroopwafel though, like with the activity of putting it on top, like I have not.
It's good shit.
Maybe I'll get into it.
Yeah, I might tell you it's worth it.
It is worth it. Going back real quick, it's called Ride Switch.
Yeah. We did that at the Haunted Mansion. My 6-year-old rode it with my wife, and then came back, and then her and I ran up through the lightning line.
Yes.
And we were able to like bypass most of the people in line.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the lightning round.
That lightning line is the shit though. Because nobody wants to wait in line for 45 minutes when it's 90 degrees out for Jungle Quest.
No.
Let's just be real about that. But
all right, so
like that's the worst of the worst. Like it sucks, but also it doesn't matter because you're already so damn overwhelmed with all of the magical bullshit that you've already bought into in a genuine way. Like it's incredible.
And I was gonna say, at least it is in that dumbass movie Jungle Cruise. But anyway, Doug.
All right, so I have a question about the Disney folks, and here's what I'm gonna get at. I have no fucking clue why people who have no kids go to Disney. Remember, I used to take pictures of him sleeping at work. That motherfucker used to go with his wife to Disney to fucking go to Disney. I am just baffled. What the fuck are you doing? Why would you go to Disney World if you have no kids? I'm like, all right, let's say you want to go and you want to go to the Star Wars shit. Okay, that I get. That I get.
You don't have to fucking get.
And I'm gonna walk around, and I'm just like, what is wrong? There's a million places you can go. You have no kids. You have, I'm so befuddled.
How about this one?
How
about this? Why would you go with kids? Why would you go like? Why would you go to Disney ever?
You're like. I wouldn't. I went there once when I was 13, and it was fucking nonsense. And I was just like, "Fuck this." This was for me, and I just wouldn't go.
This was a conversation when we were planning our vacation because my wife and my wife decided, like, look, I said before, I'm a full-time dad, so clearly my wife decided that we were going on this vacation, and it was just kind of like, okay, cool. I'm there to support and I'm there to execute. I'm there for everything. Like let's go. Let's do this. Does it have to be Disney? I mean, like for real, there's a motel, there's a hotel with a water park 20 minutes up the road. And to be honest, my 2.5-year-old, I'm going to have a hard time believing she's going to remember anything from Disney. Now, like, it's my job to show her shit on a daily basis so she remembers it for as long as she lives, right? Like, but like,
you're building memories, man.
Right. So I'm like, does it have to be Disney? Because when it comes right down to it, memories are memories, and for the investment, right? Like, and it was just it was a decision that my wife just explained, like, look, it's got to be Disney, because she loves Disney. She's been there before and has always had the idea, had the desire, had the want to take her family there. And then also the idea, if it wasn't going to be Disney, there's always going to be something to compare that to, right? It was always going to be like, well, Disney would have been better. So it's like, okay, you know what? If Disney's the thing, let's check it. Let's check it, that box. Let's go to Disney. Let's do it for whatever craziness that it is. Let's just accept and go. And like I said, there was just, the hiccup of trying to get enough done to know that you were getting all of the good out of it. Combined with balancing, like, let's enjoy the time that we're spending here, rather than I'm literally jogging with the stroller and I'll meet you there because I'm going to get in line so you can catch the lightning line. And while you're running behind me, you're scheduling the next genie something. Like, no, that's not what we're built for,
But
I had one of the
Go on. Go, Kyle.
I had one of the best meals of my life. And this is worth saying. The Crystal Palace, the Magic Kingdom, it was a buffet. And I've been to Vegas. I've done the Vegas buffet. This was not a buffet at Disney. This was like handcrafted meal plates that just happened to be large, right? Like, this thing was bonkers. This thing was so bonkers. It was so, the brisket was incredible, but it was like the brisket was nothing to write home about. The mustard pork loin, right? No, it was just this meal. Like, my wife and I just kind of looked at each other and we had that moment of like, this is what we were hoping to find here. Like, this is one of those special things that we can, we had a great meal at Disney and there's air conditioning and everything. So, but yeah, that was a lot of good, way more good than frustrating. But the frustrating was stressful, be real. Yeah. And you see, you see these poor bastards.
Oh, man.
They're like frolicking through Disney, and they have the shirt that says hubby, and she has the shirt that says wifey, and she's wearing the veil. And you're like, dude, this is literally downhill from here. Like, I don't know what you're doing here. You see that a little bit, but no, a lot of families coming out of COVID. It was a little bit weird to be like at that. The last thing I'll kind of say, like, fucking shirts. Fucking shirts.
Family reunion shirts. Here we go. Awesome.
The Mexico family trip 2022. The Cinderella castle and the technology that they use there, that was kind of the other part of it that I wasn't, you think about and about, but it's not really top of mind. The light painting that they do on the castle is incredible. At one point, the entire castle's on fire, and they have smoke machines in the background, so it really looks like the castle's really legitimately on fire.
Wow.
And it's so good that it makes you forget for a moment that you're standing with like 100,000 people, and you're like, you have that moment of like, should I actually still be out here with COVID? But like, again, we've done those things, made those decisions. We're not going to double guess ourselves, but it was cool. We got there, we had the thing, and we got back, and there was not one thing that I found yet that we've misplaced or lost or forgotten. which, like, as far as I'm concerned, that's the ultimate success. To go have
That's
a
a
trip,
win.
bring everything that you need, and then be able to come back and say, like, look, we didn't forget anything and we didn't lose anything. So
excellent. Wait, there's a comment here too. So yeah, Doug. Charlie says he's gone there twice without the kids. He's right. It could be a topic of a whole ass show itself, right?
That could be because, like I said, it's
one of
yeah.
those.
Now, I'm going to tell you now. Let me rephrase that. The guy I used to work with was fucking 60 fucking years old, and was going. And he was going with his wife.
that matters.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference. He's not elderly, because I'm only 10 years away from that. But I'm just saying, like, that is not somebody that should be at Disney with their wife fucking running around at Disney fucking Park. What the fuck are you doing?
And I'm sure Disney was kind of overwhelming. I went as a kid, I think a mid to late teenager. It's a different beast than it was even back then. They've built on it. They've got all different. They've used, as Kyle said, and I think Charlie said too, they've infused technology pretty much everywhere they can, it seems like, and it feels like, even though I haven't been there. They've expanded. They've bought. I mean, it's just a different thing than when we were young. And I don't know if that's good or bad, actually. I haven't figured that out, because, again, at some point, it's just too much, and it's just sensory overload.
True.
Yeah, you gotta, and you, on top of mitigating that, you have to mitigate that for your kids too. Because, like you said,
you think
there
the
has to be
target
a
market
limit.
has grown up now through Disney. So there's enough to do as an adult because you've grown up through it, and now that you're the target market as an adult,
right? And
so that's evolved too,
right? And they did that intentionally, Doug. And they do it intentionally because now they have these Disney communities that aren't even near Disney.
Oh yeah, it's a very Black Mirror kind of thing. Like, here's these communities for Disney, and I'm like, oh shit. Be there, you're going to assimilate me into the Disney Matrix. Fuck that.
Right. Exactly. Right. This Greg, at some point it's just too much. I heard something about lightning passes and apps, and I'm like, yeah, it's just too much. But Doug, I was going to criticize you a little bit, because what's the difference between going to Disney and Great America, for that matter? Isn't it just? Can't you just look at the Great America, right? Isn't Great America an amusement park? I think it's one out here. Six Flags, Cedar Point.
I would say no, and here's why. Because
hold on, because
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying there's an angle of Disney that you could just take just as an amusement park, right? Or no? Let's hear what you got to say.
Sure, but the thing is, Disney is not just fucking rides. I mean, Kyle talked about shows, and there's these experiences and all that stuff. Like, if I'm going to something like Cedar Point, which I actually enjoy Cedar Point, it's a ride thing. It's a ride-centric thing. I can't understand, as I said earlier, if you give me 50,000 options, I'm going to be like, I don't know what the fuck to do. That's not how my brain works. Give me some paths. I need that. So yeah.
I will say this as kind of like an omni. The thing about Disney that I learned real quick was, like, every other amusement park that I've been to, well, Alex is wrong. Every other amusement park that I've been
Alex
to
is not wrong.
Is like trying to be Disney. The level of detail and the cleanliness and, like, the grooming of the landscape, right? Like, all of everything from top to bottom, everyone tries to emulate that.
Yeah.
So, like, for once to go and see, this is what everyone tries to emulate. This is the golden goose, whatever you want to call it. Like, this is the best of the best. Cool. Like, so now throughout my life, I'm going to be comparing things to Disney, to better or worse, right?
Right.
Right.
I guess
that's the ruin it to bring up this too.
Yep.
DeSantis, but all day long I wore my Red Dad Pride shirt, really accepting dad. And the highlight of my trip, sorry to keep coming back to this, the highlight of my trip was I had 3 people, 3 cast members, break character and tell me how much they love my shirt. And I had 3 different interactions. You know, one of them kind of like the dude was like stumbling, like, I really appreciate your compassion. I'm like, it's all good, man. I wasn't going to come here and not wear my pride flag shirt. So Disney's different in Florida. Yeah, they know what's up.
How to get that in there.
And that is a slight page on that. That is another reason I won't go there, because I won't give money to a state that does the shit that they do to people. So just
yeah,
like
but Disney shits on DeSantis. But Disney shits on DeSantis. So if you support Disney, you're anti-DeSantis at this point. Anyway, I know you're not doing it anyway, Doug. I'm just saying. I'm just saying for those who go to Disney, you're being anti-DeSantis, so that's a good thing.
That's fair. But remember, I was told to go to Beer Now in Texas, and I refused because it was in Texas.
I hear you, and I just wish in the world of worlds, I just wish that Disney could just literally, Doug, pick up everything and move the fucking.
They should move to their island in the middle of the fucking Caribbean.
Right.
Fucking make a whole fucking Disney island. Let's do that.
Right. I wish I could be like,
awesome.
You know what? Right. Fuck you, Florida. We're going to Arizona, bitches. Like,
and
that would be amazing.
They would still have an hour line system. They would still have people waiting in hour lines for all this shit.
Yeah.
Because the
we're moving to Illinois, damn it. Now what? That'd be great. That'd be great. Anywho, Doug, you have something. You got busy. You're busy guy. So we have to wrap here shortly.
Yep.
But Kyle, I got something to talk to you about in post-production. But I also have to
I'm long-winded. Oops.
I also have to finish this bad boy. But we will do something different than we normally do. We will end our stream with our guests. But I'm here. I wanted to highlight this. Manny Love Disney World, which is California. Kyle was talking about Disneyland, which is Florida. But Manny says use the Disney Planner to set up your day and rides. I don't think a lot of people. I didn't know there was a Disney Planner. I haven't done this, but I don't think a lot of people think that this is kind of an option. I don't know if you have to pay for it, but yeah, take the help, right, Kyle? Take the help.
Yeah, absolutely. If there is help, I mean,
right.
The app is helpful. The app was really good. You could pull up at any time, like line waits, but like. It didn't line up with your geographical center. So then you didn't know what was close to you, what was far from you. So yeah, he got that wrong. It's all good. So like, okay, so this ride has a 10-minute wait, but it's 20-minute walk. Like this ride has a 45-minute wait and it's got a 30-minute walk. So that's, we're going to carry the one, right? So there wasn't like this total cost of ownership thing that I was, that would really be nice. It was a lot of learning on the fly. Plus my 6-year-old, she's just bouncing all over the place, and as a dad and everything that we've talked about already, like my biggest fear is having somebody kidnapped while you're on fucking vacation. So I'm just like, fuck lunch, fuck waters. I'm going to put my phone down and watch my dog, so there was this bit of like, there's this dance that you kind of have to do, and there's this equilibrium that you have to find, again, which is different than any other place that you'd go to, right? It's so big, and there's so much.
It's still
yeah, and it's, but like I can't say like, oh, it was overwhelming and it was too much and blah blah blah, without saying like, I cried during a show because I heard a song from Peter Pan that I hadn't heard in 20 years. Like I can't deny that that's the magic that I was there for. You know what I mean? Like legitimate tears were down my cheeks as a grown man. Like it is what it is. Yeah, like everything's there. The overwhelmingness and the magic. It's all it was awesome.
All right, well, Doug has requested this, so we will.
Let's do it.
Doug, what's going on?
So let me start with this. This just premiered, and I just wanted to shout out two of our guys, Gil Noriega and Victor Aragon from Fandads. They hooked me up with a watch party for this, a premiere party to watch it online. So I got to see some of these episodes of the new season of Love, Death, and Robots. And I got to do it. And afterward, there was a Q&A with David Fincher, who fucking directed movies like fucking Seven and shit like that. And I'm just like, holy shit. Now, I didn't get to ask him questions, but because it was all pre-recorded, but like, I was just floored by the episodes. So what they did was basically the watch party was, here's the best of our previous two seasons, and here's 4 or 5 new episodes. And the new episodes were fucking amazing. One of the episodes that I saw was quite possibly the best episode they've had out of all the seasons so far. It is. I mentioned it to Chelsea Alt because she's like, well, ADHD, and I'm like, this is great because all the episodes are short. And they talked in the Q&A about how David Fincher directed the longest episode they've ever had, which was 20 minutes. That's the longest episode they've ever had. So if you want something that's quick, fucking super entertaining, this just, it hits all these things. It does every episode is its own thing. You don't have to watch them in sequential order. Everything is its own little doohickey. It's like a lot like another one of my favorite Netflix shows, Black Mirror, which announced they're coming out with a new season this week. Not coming out this week, but next year. But this week they announced they're doing it next year, and I am thrilled for that as well. But I can't recommend this show enough. It's just really superbly done. So yeah.
Can I binge it?
Yeah, because they release all the episodes right at once.
Oh, okay. You know how I roll with that. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to shout out Fandads doing that. That was great, and I really appreciate it. It was great.
Yeah, those guys are the tits.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Black Mirror is amazeballs. Okay.
Yes. And
Kyle,
Greg, have you watched that at all? Greg, Kyle, have you watched Black Mirror or Love, Death, and Robots? Have you watched either of those?
I've seen some Black Mirror. Lately, we've taken a break from like the psychological type of shows.
Yeah. Well, they didn't make episodes for 3 years because of that. The guy specifically said they were going to do it because there was enough shit going on.
Right.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. Charles Booker, who is like the main guy driving Black Mirror, said they intentionally didn't make episodes because of.
Yeah, because he's like, go live life. Yeah, go live life. You'll be fucked up from that. And we'll get back to it.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Kyle, you watching anything that we should know about before we start to head out here?
Real quick on one thing, and then something else that I need to throw your way. Very succinct points. Number one is Too Hot to Handle.
Oh man, that's right in the Love Is Blind thing. Yes,
because there's enough shit out there, and the world's on fire. So every now and then, find something that is just on the surface, it's gratuitous TNA.
Yes.
But the thing is, these sexy co-eds, they think that they're going to be on a show called like Paradise Island or something, and they're just going to go and bang each other into oblivion. And it turns out that they're on a game show for $100,000. And the concept is there's no touching, there's no kissing, there's no sex, there's no self-gratification, there's no nothing. What there is there's learning about the value behind connection. And like, okay, great. but like as it unfolds, you get some sort of this like psychological aspect to it that's you don't really anticipate. It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. Some people break rules, so then it costs some money. There's different spin-offs.
Did I show that?
Yeah.
Oh, did it show? Okay.
That's it right there.
There we go.
That's
Damn.
it.
Hot-looking young people. What's going on?
But there's a twist. They'll have to give up sex. Oh, fucking
yeah!
no.
Like they can't touch each other. So like you get some people that are really being honest and they're saying like, look, I'm gonna go sneak away and just, take one for the team because I can't handle it or whatever.
Wow.
But the one thing that I wanted to throw out, because I know you guys would both be there, is Star Trek Discovery. Now, I don't no spoilers or whatever, but like late in the last season of Star Trek Discovery, they are out on like the edge of the galaxy apparently, and as they penetrate the galaxy's edge, all of a sudden everything gets everything gets dark because they can't see any stars, and it's just this new weird ominous thing. And I'm just thinking like that's just a miss in the writing, because of course we can see stars past our galaxy, can't we? Have you been there in Discovery? Because I know you guys are somewhat.
No. Doug loves the sci-fi.
I do.
I'm kind of hit or miss on it.
Yeah, and the thing is with Star Trek stuff, I have not watched anything with Picard or like the new generation. I haven't watched any Star Trek stuff, and it's not because I don't like sci-fi. They're just, for some reason, I've just never gotten kind of the clarion call to go do it, and I just haven't. Like I talked to Greg many times about The Expanse. I think The Expanse is the best fucking sci-fi show I've ever seen. But I've also not watched all of Star Trek. So, like, I've watched the old episodes. I've never watched the new stuff. So,
I am vastly interested in the Star Trek. What is it? Strange Worlds. Something about that.
I just started Strange Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But so then I'll say it like this: like Discovery is what I'm watching. What we just finished watching. High level Star Trek nerdery stuff. It's fantastic.
Female captain, right?
Yeah, female captain.
Cool.
BIPOC female captain. One-time mutineer BIPOC female captain. A rule breaker, if you will. But I'll just say, like, the writing on the high level stuff is just out of this world. Some of the stuff maybe on the underneath scripted stuff is to be lacking, but Strange New Worlds, we're just starting right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's only 3 episodes in, and I need like 10 before I.
Yeah, Greg needs all of them.
Yeah, I need. Yeah. I'm enjoying the latest. Mine will be The Circle. That shit's funny. It's hilarious. It's dumb, non-thinking. Like Star Trek. I like Star Trek. Sorry, this is probably going to get panned in the comments, or people are going to argue with me. But I'm a Star Trek. If you force me Star Trek or Star Wars, it would definitely be Star Trek. Definitely. Oh,
yeah, he is just bugging at me right now. Somebody's tired.
Look at that little boy.
Yeah. So The Circle. Sorry. If y'all like dumb, stupid reality show, check it out on Netflix. It's fun.
Yeah, you're welcome, Greg, for giving you that one.
I thought I was on that before you, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not.
I was definitely on Love Is Blind before you.
No. Love Is Blind. You can definitely take credit for, no doubt. Yeah. I think The Circle I might have been on, but no. Love Is Blind. Wait.
Chloe,
you take credit for that shit.
Is it Chloe from The Circle was on Too Hot to Handle? So then that would put me in front of both y'all.
That's fair. I like Chloe. I like her.
Chloe is super damn cool.
She is cool.
She's super cool.
She comes off as a cool person. Doug, you have sci-fi news before we wrap?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, as we've talked earlier about BIPOC leadership and representation, the new Doctor Who is actually a black man.
A black guy now,
Yeah,
yes.
and
Nice.
Nakuti Gatwa,
Let's go.
who is in Sex Education, which is a great show if you've never seen it. Yeah, that is that's pretty.
What was that again?
It's called Sex Education. Gillian Anderson is in it. Asa Butterfield. The guy who's the new Doctor Who plays a gay character in that show. It's a superb show. Just wanted to say that's really good. Nice to see that.
Never seen one episode of Doctor Who, but I was sharing the fact that a black guy is going to be the Doctor Who now.
Yep. So that was all I wanted to point out, just because. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Next week we have our friend Mari.
Yeah.
From Giant Jones.
Giant Jones. Yes.
She is one of 4 women that operate a fucking brewery. Mm-hmm. These 4 women do one whole brewery. Kick ass. So we're going to get into all of that. And I love Mari, so it's great because it's hard to get Jessica Jones on a Friday night. This lady does not stop working. She's a fucking workaholic. God damn it. Like, right? Right. So having Mari here to talk about Giant, right. And having Mari here to talk about Giant Jones is going to be fun because we'll get a little insight into the brewery that Jessica would give us if she was available on Friday nights. Friday nights are hard, but we also got our friend Kyle Thompson. We want to thank you for showing up and giving us the perspective of Disney and a little bit of racing. And man, you keep going on those city council meetings. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, man.
Someone got to do it though. So look at this. Look at Cecil. He's like,
look at that face. He's like, hey.
He's like, motherfuckers, you need to rap. I'm tired. And that's Doug is the same way.
Yeah, I'm old.
Yeah, do we want to do a quick? I've had a bunch.
Yeah, so do I. I think, we've been really well. Last week was fucking 3.5 hours. That's a bit different, but yeah.
Well, this is fucking what now? Where are we at here?
2.5. Yeah. All right, Greg, you first.
Whoops, I'm long-winded. My bad.
No slouch. Well, you're long-winded. What do you think of Doug and I then? Or what the hell? I'm just gonna highlight this one. If y'all are in the bourbon barrel stouts, grab this one and let me know if y'all get the Stroop out of it. Otherwise, it's delish for y'all. Again, barrel aged stout fans, don't miss this one. Don't miss it, Doug. I don't think you will. You usually get it.
Hopefully it comes. All right, so I did 3 ciders. One I don't have because my wife had to shred the bottle. Yeah, don't care. Get rid of that. So here's the thing. Slow Down was okay. That was this one. And then I did this New Leaf, which is a blueberry cider. That was good. That was really good, actually. This is the best thing I had was the Mexican dark lager. That was really super good. Although I did have a bourbon and maple cider that I thought was excellent. So that was in contention for as good as a Mexican lager. So it was a good night. Kyle, how about you, man?
Doctor Who's a great show.
Hi.
Looking forward to Mari.
Yeah, we got
great beers.
Yeah, let's hear Kyle's reviews because he's got a few.
Yeah, he did.
Well, here's the thing. I happen to be looking forward to this for a little bit and trying to diversify and make sure that I had a good wide selection. Last to first, and it's just where my palate's at. And I didn't say this earlier, and I wanted to say this to make sure that I said this. This group is really cool. The celebration of individual palates is cool beyond belief, because Alex can say what he wants to say about who's drinking beer, kiss my ass. You know, it's a brewed beverage, it's delicious. And like it's what my palate likes, so kiss my ass again. Right? This is last. It was delicious, but it's last. because it just tastes like beer. The
Okay.
struggle bus is like it just wasn't with pancakes, so it's missing something. I have to do it in this order because the blueberry maple lemon, it's like the second sour that I fell in love with. You know what I mean? Like, it's not your first love, it's your second love, right?
Right.
It's the one that you get to those extra paces that you didn't know about.
It's the
right?
ones you get to go to Disney with.
But then there's your first love that like you don't ever forget. You don't ever forget what fucked your head up for the very first time. This thing took me on a roller coaster like a year ago, and spoiler alert, this is like a year and a half old, and it still holds up, and it was still delicious, and it's still really, really, really good. About 90% of where it was on day one, and that was 8%, and this one was 6.5.
Damn.
And the struggle bus was 6.5, and the wedding season was 8.
Wow, you started with the big one.
Go big or go home, and I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
I did both, and I'm gonna go sleep on a couch in a basement.
Mm.
Because everyone's
all
already
right, Kyle.
out.
It's been awesome.
Yeah, been great, man. Thank you for being on.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
We'll see you in a bunch of months. We'll have you back and get even more into the car. We talked about the car, but
I'll be into porters
much,
at that point. I'll be into stouts and porters, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you about
We'll see.
We'll
see.
We'll see. Hang around those Belgians, man. I'm telling you, I think you're gonna like them.
Oh yeah, man.
And cheers, y'all.
Cheers, everyone.